All right, hello. We are going to look at the 10.2 homework worksheet. So we're talking about stem and leaf plots and histograms. Take a look at number 1. So the stem and leaf plot is talking about test scores. So what were the highest and lowest scores on the test? Well, if we take a look at our key right here, 7/2 means a 72. So this is going to be our highest leaf, which would go with the 9. So the highest score was a 96, and the lowest score would be a 52. Which test score occurred most frequently? So we look at any repeating leaves. So if I take a look at my highlighter here, I have 3s, 2 3s. That means that that's 83. That score occurred 2 times. And I also have 3 4s here, which means 74. And that definitely outscored the 83. So which test score occurred most frequently? 74. In which 10-point interval did most of the students score? Here we can just simply look at where are the most leaves? Well, here I have 4 test scores in the 50s, 3 in the 60s, 6 in the 70s, 3 and 4. So right here. Which 10-point interval? The 70s. How many students received a score of 70 or better? So again, we're going to go back to our stem and leaf plot, and I'm going to take a look. 70 or better. Well, all of these scored 70 or better. So I just need to count every single leaf. And if I count that up, that should be 13. 13 students. How many students received a score of less than 70? Now, that does not include 70. So I'm going to change colors here. And just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Count them out. And I have 7 students received a score less than 70. All right, taking a look here at the humidity between morning and afternoon. So what is the highest morning relative humidity? So take a look. Morning highest, well, we have a back-to-back stem and leaf plot. We have a key for both sides, 89. So 89% is the highest morning relative humidity, right? The largest value. What was the lowest afternoon humidity? 51%. Does relative humidity tend to be higher in the morning or in the afternoon? Well, if you take a look, all of these values here are higher in the morning than in the afternoon. So we're definitely going to say the morning. All right, that's your work with stem and leaf plots. Let's look at the histograms. All right, so with a histogram, we're going to group data by intervals. So number 1 says the histogram below shows that data about scores on a history test. So well, it says history here and algebra here, so you guys can decide what you want. So pretend it is. Anyways, taking a look at the histogram, one of the things that I do right away is I always label how many values are represented in each bar, okay? That just helps me answer questions here. So how many total students took the test? Well, how many total students took the test? All I have to do is add these numbers up, and I should get 33 students. We'll pretend it's an algebra test, not a history. Algebra. So 33 students. How many of the students scored at least 71 on the test? Well, that means that they scored a 71 or higher, right? At least. So I'm going to add 8, 12 plus 6, and I'm going to get 26 students. Right? How many? This is why labeling these bars is so important, right? I have an 8 here, 12 here, and a 6 here. And can you determine the highest grade from the histogram? Can you determine the student who scored the highest? The answer is no. You know the highest score was somewhere in this bar, right? 6 students scored between a 91 and a 100%, but you don't know if all 6 students scored a 91, if they scored a 95, if 1 student scored a 91, 1 student scored a 100. We just know that 6 students fell in that bar. So no, we cannot determine the highest grade. All right, now taking a look at 2, the histogram below shows data about movie revenues in a recent year. Once again, I went through and I labeled what value each bar represents. All right, so how many movies grossed at least $141 million. So at least $141 million. I go to 141, which is right here. So the numbers I'm going to add are all of these. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 movies. How many movies gross between 61 and 180? All right, so now we change color, 61 and 180, which means I'm going to add all of these numbers, or these three values, 4, 10, and 15. 4, 10, and 15 is 19 movies. And can you determine how many movies gross between 121 and 140? Well, if we take a look at 121, this interval is 101 to 140. We can't break it up into 120 to 140. So no, once again, we can't pull the data from within a bar. We just know where the data falls, right? So we can tell you that 10 movies gross between 101 and 140 million, but we can't say how many were gross between 121 and 140. So no, frowny face. All right, that's a worksheet. Hopefully you're more familiar with histograms and stem and leaf plots after it. Take care.